how have you kept yourself, physically fit? You've had 4 children. I put up a picture of you at your 40th birthday. You look better than most 20-year-olds. You've taken good care of yourself, mind and body. How do you carve out that time? What type of exercises do you do? Do you do other treatments that are helping you?
Today, we have, for all the moms out there, you ever feel like you're kind of juggling it all between work and life and kids? And, sometimes I feel like the furthest thing from Forever Young is being a mom. And because it's just so taxing, you realize how difficult it is. And so I think for all the viewers and listeners out there, you ever just want some advice from someone who gets it? Well, today's guest is exactly that. Shirin Yadegar, who's ultimately a quintessential mother and does juggle it all. And she also is the founder of LA Mom Magazine. She hosts of Moms Matter and happens to be, she's been like a sister to me, but is Dr. Danielpour's real sister. So welcome, Shirin, to our podcast.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
How exciting to have my little sister on our podcast. The best part about this, as you were introducing her, LA Mom Magazine has basically been around for as long as this practice has. 15 years ago, when we got to Beverly Hills and we started our practice, Shir started LA Mom Magazine. So congrats on your 15th year.
Yes.
And welcome to our podcast. We really are so happy that you're here.
I'm so happy that I'm here. I just love the both of you. I think that you are everything that plastic surgeons should be, because you're ethical and you're compassionate and you're kind. And I know the stories about these young girls that come in, because I have 4 teenage girls, and they come in and they want lip fillers and they want implants, and you say, no. Yep. Take it easy, wait a bit. And I don't know of any other surgeons that do that, so thank you for being you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Very, very sweet. Why don't you tell us a little bit about being a mother first? Because you've got 4 amazing daughters. Each one is so incredible and special in their own way. What was it like? Because look, 1 kid is daunting. 2, all right, you can go one-on-one. 3, you're outnumbered. 4 is just next level. So kind of bring us through the entire process.
Yeah. Honestly, anyone who's become a mother knows that you lose yourself at first. It's very hard not to, because all you want to do is give yourself to this child. You brought this child into the world, and so you completely transform and you pause your life for this being, and which is what I did. And I paused my life with the first 2, and my first 2 are 2 years apart. So I just paused everything. I stopped working. I was a stay-at-home mom. I did everything I could to give to them. And then with the 3rd one came the birth of LA Mom Magazine. I thought to myself, I need an identity of my own. I need to go back to what I was trained to do. I have my master's in journalism. I can't just sit here and change diapers all day. And I can be a great mom, and I can work, and I can find a balance in all of it. And then the 4th one, Camille, was born, and she was just a cherry on top. She's kind of raised herself. My older ones have helped raise her as well. And that's what happens. Birthing order is everything.
Of course.
But at some point, as moms, we stop and we reflect and we think, we can't keep going down this lane. We've got to find a way to satisfy our needs, or we won't be good mothers.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me is I do a lot of breast and body surgery. Okay, a lot. That's all I do. And John and I do a ton of mommy makeovers together. It's something that we're known for in this town. With the limited amount of time that you've had over the past 22 years, okay, Eden's 21 now, so you've been in and out of pregnancy for 22 years. Not the whole time, but how have you designated time for yourself, and how have you kept yourself, physically fit? You've had 4 children. I put up a picture of you at your 40th birthday. You look better than most 20-year-olds. You've taken good care of yourself, mind and body. How do you carve out that time? What type of exercises do you do? Do you do other treatments that are helping you? I'm just going to open that up, because I'll tell you something. Genetics really do help, because our mother is beautiful and she looks great, but she also takes care of herself. But what are the tricks for a mom that's had multiple children or even 1 child to avoid the knife in a sense, if that's possible?
Right. So thanks, Mom, for the genetics. That helps a lot. When I was pregnant, by the way, I lubed up my body like crazy to avoid the stretch marks because I thought to myself, I want to keep wearing a bikini. I am vain. I care about the way I look. I care about what I eat. I want to make sure I'm eating clean. So I do intermittent fasting. I really don't eat until about 12 o'clock. I don't find the need to. I'm not hungry. So, I drink a little coffee and water. Lemon water first thing in the morning, I think is great. I exercise 6 days a week. I usually take one day off, either because I drank too much the night before or we have family time and so we need a day off. So 6 days a week I'm in the gym, whether it's lifting weights or doing berries or Pilates or plate fit, anything. It could be a 30-minute in and out, but I make sure I move my body. I do my best to get 10,000 steps in every single day. I don't track it with a Fitbit, but I have my phone on me because you want to maintain. And it was really important to me after I had the kids. I gained a lot of weight. I gained about 40 pounds each pregnancy because I gave in and enjoyed it. But I made sure afterwards that I did everything in my power to lose that weight because I knew if I didn't, I'd go into deep depression. Sure. And so first thing in the morning after the kids are off to school, I drop them all off. I go straight to the gym. I go straight to workout. It was the first thing I would do. Skincare, thankfully, when you have a brother who's a plastic surgeon, I'm in here using every laser. So I just walked in now, he's like, wow, your skin's glowing. I'm like, yeah, I was in yesterday. So I use all the lasers, everything you can imagine to really keep my face tight. And I use all of your products. That's the truth. I don't use any other products. I use all of the Beverly Hills MD products. And it really has worked really well for me.
Awesome.
It's interesting because that was the next question I was going to ask you, because everybody always asks, whether it's for your wife, Kendall, my sister, my wife, my mom, what'd you do for your sister? Why does she look so good? And I'm always like, I didn't do anything. So there are some devices that we have here. And perhaps you've tried them, and maybe you could kind of educate some of our listeners that are moms as to what you've tried in the office that hasn't been surgery. It's all been non-surgical that has helped you maintain this kind of youthful glow, whether it's for your face or for your body.
Right. So I love Clear and Brilliant. I love it because there's no downtime. That's what I did yesterday, and there's nothing on my face right now. I mean, I look perfect. I've got a glow. Clear and Brilliant, I love because I'm in the sun all the time. We're always vacationing with the kids. I want to have fun. I go on the beach with them. I don't want to be that mom that keeps a hat on and stays in the shade all day. So in order to do that, I have to keep up. And the Clear and Brilliant, when I come in here, it gets rid of my melasma. It gives me the glow. I feel like it tightens my face as well. I come in also, I think 6 times a year, and I do the PRP. Love that. I feel like it gives me the natural collagen in my face. I've never injected my face, but I mean, if it weren't for, could you imagine right now at this age, if we all had lines, if we all walked around with lines on our forehead, we wouldn't look so good. So really, it's the Botox. I mean, I do the Botox religiously. And once I start to see a little bit, I'm in here and I'm doing the Botox. So that's really what I do. And I use all of the Beverly Hills MD products. I love them. I use them. Brighten and Tighten is my favorite. I use it every morning and every night.
Yeah.
And what about for your body? Have you done anything here for your body that you would think is really helping? Because again, there's a lot of devices that we have. And some people are like, oh, those non-invasive devices, none of them work. I'm wondering, what do you think of some of the stuff? Because I know maybe M-Sculpt is something you've tried. And for 4 children, most people would have a diastasis, would have extra skin. Has it helped make your stomach tighter? Is it helping you, avoid that diastasis recti?
Right. So M-Sculpt is amazing. And I actually do it every time I come in to do other treatments where I need to be numbed. It's like this is what you do as a mom. You need to be super efficient, right? So I come in, I'm numbing, I do the M-Sculpt, and then I go in and do my facial. So you're in and out within less than an hour, which is incredible. And I love that. It saves time. But it does work because after 45, your stomach, women, we all know, you can work out, you can do sit-ups, you can lift weights, but you get this bulge and it's so hard to get rid of it. And I swear by the M-Sculpt because my stomach is flat. It really works. It really works.
Speaking of being efficient as a mom, so LA Moms Magazine, your magazine, has inspired countless moms and young females. And what advice, commentary, subjects do you cover? And for those that aren't familiar with it and want to learn more.
So when I created LA Mom Magazine, I created it because there was nothing out there for moms. So for example, if we went out and we drank one night and I was breastfeeding, I had no idea whether or not I could breastfeed my child or it was going to be toxic. And so I created it for things like that. I have physicians, I have doctors, people like yourselves, pediatricians, empowerment coaches, anything you can imagine from A to Z is covered in the magazine. It's a holistic approach to life that if you as a woman are not healthy, if you're not mindful, if you're not intentional about your life, there is no way you can raise a happy family.
Sure.
And that's what LA Mom Magazine does. We cover it all.
But there's LA Mom, and then there's also Moms Matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference in what's Moms Matter versus LA Mom?
Right, so Moms Matter has become a talk show. It's been around for 6 years now. I bring in leading experts in every field that I interview to help moms. So it's tough. I mean, you know, like you have right now, Dr. Pei, you have 2 kids. You have a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old. It's a lot, you know? And so what I try and do is bring in like empowerment coach, people to inspire you to say, it's okay, take a deep breath. You can do it. And here's how you can do it. Because there's no one out there telling us. You can't Google it, right?
Right.
So Moms Matter really brings you those experts to give you real points on how can you live your life to the fullest? How can you still be your own person while being an amazing wife and an amazing mother and still carve your own path in this?
And how does someone find that today? Is it a podcast or is it a show you watch on YouTube? How does that work?
So everything is on my Instagram. If you go to LA Mom Magazine, I publish all my shows there, all my content. And if you go to lamommagazine.com, you'll see all the weekly articles, but those also get posted onto my Instagram.
Amazing. I guess, you know, a lot of these things, again, when we talk about being a good mom and things like that, you're obviously confident. And because you have found ways to not only strengthen yourself, whether it's mind, body, spirit, how do you inspire or you know, inspire your daughters to have the same amount of confidence? And what are just some general, you know, things as a mom to be a good role model for your children? What do you do? What do you strive? Let's say, you know, there are certain things that every family does, and you know, I always see some of these posts that'll say, all right, here's a billionaire and his kids are amazing, and why is it? What's the one secret? And everybody kind of has their own little thing. What's something that you would impart upon viewers and listeners and say, look, these are the top 2 or 3 things that I did for my daughters that have worked to this day, and that's why they're so amazing?
I think first and foremost, if you're lucky enough to have a partner at home and you're not a single mom, then you need to really show your children that your partner comes first. That love and that peace at home is so important because they're watching, right? They're watching, they're hearing. We always say gossip in front of your kids with all the news you want them to learn, because that's when they're really listening. So my father would always say to me, when your husband comes home from work, first thing you do is open that door, run to him and kiss him and embrace him in love, because your kids then will see what love is. So first and foremost, have a healthy, peaceful relationship with your partner. And then we're of the mindset of growth mindset. We're not about, okay, bring home that A. We don't talk about that with our kids. We talk about how are you working to get to where you want to get. Let's set goals and let's have that growth mindset. Don't ever feel sorry for yourself. Don't ever be down on yourself. Just work towards it. We're here to support you. We're here to help you to get to where you want to get. Okay. We're very goal driven in our house. So we don't let them just scroll Instagram and sit on the couch and watch TV. We set goals, we help them reach their goals. And I feel like that's really the only way you're going to have healthy, happy kids. Because if you don't have purpose in life, if kids are not trying to reach a certain goal, and that goal changes all the time, right? Sure. It shifts as you grow up, then what are you aspiring to do?
I mean, sometimes it's so tough. You know, it's interesting. We do the same thing. We ask the kids the same question, 4 questions every single night. We ask them, you know, what was the best part of your day? What was the worst part? What was something kind you did to someone else, and what was something kind someone did to you? And the idea was, you know, whether or not it worked, at least the best part of the day, you always know about it because that's what they talk about. The worst part of the day, that's where you want to find out what issues they really had. And then you want to make sure that they're looking for kind things and that they're actually performing them. Now, it doesn't go as easily as that all the time, but, you know, that's the general goal. And I think you giving them, you have a goal in mind. You would love for them to see, you know, build those same type of goals, but it's I think it's, you know, them seeing it as opposed to just hearing it.
100%. I mean, those goals shift. They can be small goals. They can be big goals. My daughter Lily just started at Pali High. She's in 9th grade. It's a huge school, 3,000 kids. She's new to the school, and she's been heartbroken since the barbaric events of October 7th. And so she said, Mom, what can I do? I said, there's a NOVA exhibit that's showing everybody what happened. Why don't you try and create a field trip? And so every day she worked, and guess what? She is taking 150 kids with 3 busloads to this NOVA exhibit. That was a small goal, which had a huge impact, because now she feels extreme self-confidence within herself that she was able to reach that goal. She worked towards something, she reached it, and now it's happening, right? Yeah. And that's how we create self-confidence. I have 4 daughters. Self-confidence is everything. And the only way you really can create that self-confidence is by goal setting.
But this is what I've watched, this beauty of you being a mother since, at a very young age, because, unlike a lot of people, you got married really young and you had babies really young, and you're my baby sister. You're much younger than I am. And I watched you embrace motherhood. And I'll tell you, I took multiple things away from it. What you brought up about Lily is very interesting, because what I noticed, you told me a long time ago, and I didn't have kids till 20 years later, which is insane, almost. One of the very important things you always told me is take your kid to school, pick your kid up from school. It's as important of a thing as possible, because that's when you can actually speak to them. Your kids are like my kids. They're like my best friends in the entire world. So they open up to me too, and I think family's the other important thing. But what are the main advice you would give people? Like that one bit of advice that I always tell my wife too: take the kid to school, bring the kid back, because they'll open up and talk to you at that time. What are other bits of advice that you can give them? Because it's tough raising a kid now. And we always say, oh, it's so much tougher now because of social media. It was tough 20 years ago. It was tough 40 years ago. It was tough 200 years ago. It was always hard. What are your, hard and fast kind of the advice that you'd give to people that are having kids now?
Yeah, I think that we are nothing without our traditions. So I think if we don't hold on to the past, what our parents taught us, what our grandparents taught us, then we really are dust. And so I've made that very clear to my girls. We have certain traditions we hold on to, and they cannot be broken. We believe in our Judaism. We're not religious people, but we're observant as far as tradition goes. So every Friday night we have Shabbat dinner. There are homecoming games. There are parties. And our girls know, I'm so sorry, you need to be home. You need to be home because your grandparents are here, because your uncle and aunt are here, because your cousins are here, and because family time is the most important sacred time that you have. We have dinner every single night together, unless obviously there's a sports game or there's a business dinner or something, but we really sit together Monday through Wednesday 100%, and we have dinner and we talk about their day. What is your rose? What's your thorn? What are you looking forward to in the day? We are immersed. No cell phones ever allowed at our dinner table. Ever, ever, ever. Also, on the drive to school, on the way home, no cell phones around. I said, I'm not your Uber driver. I'm your mother, and I love you. Put your phone away and have respect for me. So those are some small things that we do that have really built a foundation for our family and our values.
And also one other thing, and I can probably answer all these questions for her because I've been a part of it for so long. And again, ingrained from my father especially, greet people, say hello to them. Say goodbye to them. Walk them to the door. It's important. These are things that your kids just have inside of them. Their respect. Your kids too. Respect is something that is so lacking in this world these days that, it's interesting because the newer mothers will turn around and be like, oh, that was 20 years ago. They don't know what they're talking about. And it's exactly what she said. Tradition never dies. Manners never die. The way you treat people with kindness, love, affection, and respect never die. It never changes. 100 years later, 100 years, it's the same. And your kids come to the door when I come. They walk me out when I leave. They always stand up and say hello. They shake everyone's hand. Your kids too. The same thing. They greet you with respect. And these are things that you have to ingrain in your children. They don't just happen. And you've done it. And it's amazing because even the little one, when dad was really old and couldn't walk to the door, grab his hand and walk him to the door. And little kid. And these are things that, if you guys are listening as moms, dads, they're so important because once we're gone, they're still going to have that in their head to teach their children. And regardless of how smart they are, how many A's they get, what type of accomplishments they have, they will still be remembered as somebody who had manners and respect for other people. And you've really done a great job with that. And at least me growing up, watching you, it was never done with an iron fist. I want you to tell me, because I have a little kid who doesn't listen to anything I say, how in the world did you do that? That's really it's a gift. I mean, we talk about it all the time.
It's tough not to raise your voice, and again, I applaud you for that.
Well, I think, first of all, what you're saying is absolutely right. And what's your legacy you're leaving behind? That's something that My husband and I ask ourselves all the time, what is the legacy we're leaving behind? Do I want disrespectful kids? Do I care if they're straight A students and go to Ivy Leagues? No. I care about how they treat others. So the one steadfast rule we have is every time they start a new school, you know your teachers' names, you know your head of school. You need to know every single maintenance person's names, and you need to make sure that for Christmas, for Hanukkah, you need to go and get them gifts, and you need to know who they are and greet them the same way that you treat them. You should be treating your head of school. That everybody is the same. Everybody's created the same and equal in the name of God. So that's one thing. How do we do it? So we have always believed that you got to let your kids express themselves. Let them dress the way they want. Let them express themselves. Let them be who they want. Let them talk. Always so that they can grow and have self-confidence. The time that we raise our voice is if they're ever disrespectful. But you know what they've always said? It's been an unsaid rule in our house. We don't even mention it. They just know that this is the way they need to treat people. How do they know that? Because that's the way my husband and I treat people. They watch. So they're watching your every move. If you're kind, if you're sweet, if you're loving, they're going to be kind and loving and sweet as well. If you're screaming and you're mean and you're aggressive, they're going to be that way too. They're watching everything we do. That's all it is. I think it's really simple.
No, just mimicking.
That's all it is.
Not really mean, I think.
You're never mean. You're the nicest person in the world. And your daughter is the most loving human being she is.
Gracious. Yeah. So tell us one last thing, because you've been doing this like workout with some people or something. What's that all about? And is it helping, and has it changed anything? Because here's the thing. A lot of people are having kids in their 40s. Okay. And for moms that are having kids later, it's really hard for their bodies to get there. Now, obviously we do a ton of mommy makeovers. Come to us. I'm happy to do your tummy tuck. Not even a question about it. But to avoid that, what is it? What is this one thing? What is this thing you're doing that's kind of like...
So I just started. It's just been a couple of weeks. It is high protein, no carbs, weightlifting 3 times a week. I've never really lifted weights in this way. So it's a whole new world to me. Have I seen a change in my body? No, not yet. I've lost a few pounds, but it doesn't show in my clothes or anything because we all have so much that we're, water weight that we're holding on to.
Sure.
The one great thing that I have learned though is that we don't even have protein. Like for my body, I need to be having 150 grams of protein a day. And so I realized I wasn't satiated throughout the day. So when the kids would come home and eat like junk, I would snack with them, and I don't do that anymore. So for 3 weeks, I have not been snacking. You know how much I love potato chips. I haven't touched a potato chip. I'm eating cucumbers, and I'm full because I'm actually eating a lot. Like we think, a little chicken breast is enough. No, it's not. You need to double it up. And as we get older, we really need to double up our protein. So that's really the main thing I've taken away from it so far. Double up your protein.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I kind of want to, I want to go back to the fact how great you look, and again, being a mom and busy and having a magazine and a talk show and all these different things. Walk me through your skincare routine. I mean, is it a 10-step routine, or do you have 3 products that you really like? What's an average morning? Even on a weekend.
Okay, average morning. Honestly, when I tell you I really only use your products, I really only do. So I love the blue bottle with the facial cleanser. That's how I wash my face every morning and every night. Afterwards, I put on the Tighten and Brighten, and then I use your under eye cream. That's what I do. I do make sure to get my neck always. So whatever I do on my face, I do on my neck. But that's my skincare
We need
routine.
to get you the Lift and Firm for your neck.
Yeah.
Because that's really, that's really what tightens the neck. So
I think
not
you
that you
need
really
that.
need
No,
to
I
tighten
do.
it,
My mom the other day, she was watching me. She goes, "Honey, you're looking old. What's going on with the neck? Go see your brother."
Our
I was like,
mom is, she's very
Yeah.
sweet when it comes to telling us if we're
Yeah.
aging.
I love it though, but she says it as
She's
it is.
very honest.
Which is another thing. You have to be honest with your kids. Like, you've got to be honest with them. So if they're feeling heavy, or when they are heavy, and you tell them, no, you look great and you're skinny, well, you're lying to them.
Yeah.
And then they're never going to trust you. So be honest. I love that our mom was always honest with
Yeah,
us.
my mom would look at it and be like, "You are fat." but it's true though. What would happen is you would really think to yourself, okay, am I not exercising? Am I eating too much? What am I doing that's bad? Because obviously your mom only wants the best for you.
Yeah.
The problem is she would see me sitting next to John all the time, and I'm like, it's not a good comparison. But in all reality, it's great. I mean, as a parent, you should be very honest with your children. Hopefully, luckily I didn't get into some sort of eating disorder over the years.
Yeah, exactly. You escaped some things.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're in West LA. I have 4 daughters. It's tough. Body image is everything.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, first of all, look, the advent of social media, and as much as I appreciate it, 4 teenage daughters, now not all teenagers, but 4 daughters going through this where every single person is glued to their phone. How do you keep them away from that? And 2, how do you instill that confidence to, I understand being that role model and so they can mimic a little, but there has to be some things that you instill in them where they have the confidence to say, you know what, I don't look good. Or if I don't, this is what I'm going to do.
Right. Well, we always talk about eating healthy. That's huge in our house, right? So yeah, we do have junk food too, but for the most part, we're not eating, like, spicy Cheetos have been thrown out of the house. We don't have them anymore. You can't eat them. They're just not good for you. So we talk about health from the inside out. Like, what are you eating? How is that serving you? How is it giving you fuel for your body? How is it driving you? Luckily, it's super cool to be healthy in West LA. So they'll drink healthy smoothies and have green shakes and all of that. And it gives them fuel in it and they feel good. Yes, it's really hard. So we limit their time on social media. They really have 15 minutes a day on TikTok, 15 minutes a day on Snapchat to talk to their friend. And that's it. That's all they need. That way they feel like they're connected, but they're not living their lives. And they also know now, their kids are so smart. They know that this is not real. Everything's airbrushed. Yep. There's apps now to make everyone look skinny and tiny. And so, but it all goes back to self-confidence. So if you raise your kids feeling good and they have family values and they're connected, they're going to have high self-confidence. So if they're a couple pounds overweight, they're not going to freak out about it and get into this, trend of starving themselves.
And, kind of on that same topic, which I find amazing, especially because I have 2 girls. Here's the big question. How in the world are these 4 girls such good friends? And there's no cattiness. Listen, I've lived it. I'm there. You don't see them going at it. No one's jealous of the other because this one's cuter than the other or this one's better than the love these 4 have for each other and how supportive they are of each other at all times is such a testament to your parenting and to your husband. It's unbelievable. 4 girls is tough. How in the world did you do that? I have 2 and I'm having a nightmare already. And the little one doesn't even talk yet.
They're babies. They're babies. It doesn't count yet. So I did exactly what mom and dad did with us. They always said, at the end of the day, we will be gone and all you'll have left is your brother. And we became the best of friends because of it. And that is what we say to our girls all the time. Dad and I are here for now. We may not be here tomorrow. All you have left is each other. Make sure to take care of each other. And we never compare them. Never compare them. Imagine if your wife came to you and compared you to her best friend's husband. That would make you feel good. So we never do that with our girls. We never compare them. Each of them has their own talents. Each of them brings so much to the table and we let them shine and we make sure that we're constantly bringing them up in their own ways because they're 4 different people, 4 different skill sets. And so together they feel like, wow, we have different skill sets. Together we can come together as a team and we can do so much good for the world,
That's so
amazing.
Great. It really is great.
Look, it's eye-opening every time I talk to you and see your daughters and things like that. I mean, it's just a true testament to being a good person and also just having that strong character that instills confidence in other people as well. So, I mean, kudos to you, honestly. Definitely impressed from the moment I met you to today.
And you're doing an incredible job. Both of you. Your kids are incredible.
Listen, I know we could sit here and talk forever, especially I can. Yeah. But I'm going to leave everybody with this. If anybody wants to, all the moms that are out there, LAMomMagazine.com and Moms Matter. I've watched all of it. I think there's some really great guests that can truly help in your voyage and your journey of being a mother and really just kind of managing your time and even some of your emotions because it's hard and it's nice to have someone kind of help you that's already done it before. So thank you for being here today.
Yeah, listen, I'm definitely appreciative. I know you're busy, obviously, with all the things you're doing, and so thanks for spending this time with us. For all the moms out there...
Can I ask one last question?
Oh, yeah.
What's next for you?
Ooh, what's next for me? So look out, guys. There's going to be a big bang coming out. Yeah, I'm working on a talk show. So a new talk show with some new diverse faces, and hopefully it'll be out in, a couple months.
Okay.
Awesome.
We'll bring you back on with those faces.
Yeah.
Bring me back with those faces. I do want to say one thing that I didn't mention that I think is so, so important for moms. Find a tribe and find a community because your friends are everything when you're raising your kids. And make sure there are people who are humble and grounded and who you can be yourself around. Because if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and if you're trying to be something you're not, to just be friends with these cool moms, it's not going to work. So find your people, find your community, and motherhood will be so much more pleasurable.
If you like this video, you're going to love this one.
Mommy makeover used to be where it was a combination of breast, abdomen, liposuction, buttock enhancement.